professional voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
And we are back with you. Tom Gresham here. If there's something on your mind, a range report you'd like to offer, just give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. If you were going to have someone talk to you and talk to your children about gun safety, who would you want? How about a national champion, world champion shooter? How about the U.S. Army Athlete of the Year? How about somebody with a military career, with a professional shooting career, who is also an accomplished writer, who also, the U.S. Army Female Athlete of the Year. I'm talking about Julie Golob, our good friend, and frankly, one of the most impressive people I know. Hey, Julie.
Hey, how are you doing, Tom?
I am good. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. You are, frankly, one of the most genuine people I know. You're just you, which is a pretty cool thing to be, frankly.
I like being me.
Yeah, hey, you're a shooter, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're an author, you have mastered the whole social media thing, you got your website, juliegolob.com, you got all sorts of things going on, you're doing media, books, and everything else. That's a busy life.
It is a busy life, but as I like to say, I'd always rather be busy than bored, so I stay busy.
I don't think you have ever been bored, my friend. Oh, my goodness. All right, so, and for people who may not know, you are still shooting. You're doing the whole thing. You had this cool book out, which I do got to mention this. You got this whole resource that is Shooting While Pregnant. That one really got a lot of attention, didn't it?
It did. One of the things that I've always strived to do in communicating about our lifestyle, the shooter lifestyle, the gun owner lifestyle, is all of the facets of it. So obviously I'm a huge advocate for the shooting sports and the Second Amendment, but I wanted to help people find out more information that maybe they couldn't get from their doctor or easily find on the internet. So that one was a fun little thing to put together to help expecting moms, figure out whether or not shooting is right for them while they're pregnant.
Well, what's the answer? Is it?
It's all up to you. It's such a personal decision. And, that's the way it is with so many things. Let's face it. I mean, when you tell somebody, they ask you, what's the best gun for me? Well, what do you want to do with it? What are your concerns? And so it is a very personal decision. But I wanted to give as much info.
Right. You start doing the whole 20 questions. Well, what's it for? What are you going to do? What's your background? You do the,
Exactly.
All right,
it's not one simple answer.
Exactly. You also you've written the book, Shoot, Your Guide to Shooting in Competitions, a print book, an ebook. But the brand new one, which is pretty amazing, it's already hit number one on the new release and bestseller status and on children's safety books on Amazon. Over the weekend, it hit number 11 on Amazon's hot new releases in overall children's book category. It's called Toys, Tools, Guns, and Rules. What is this?
So there are obviously a lot of great resources that our industry puts out through the National Shooting Sports Foundation's Project Child Safe program, of course, NRA Eddie Eagle program. But I wanted to have something that was even more in depth. I wanted to showcase the fact that gun owners are everywhere. They're not just police and military. And that I wanted to give kids a little bit more information. The avoidance message is still the number one message for young children. Stop, don't touch, and go get an adult. Absolutely. Right. But I wanted to take away the taboo of firearms. And I also, as a mom that's doing this with two daughters and, a girl that grew up shooting with her dad, a lot of the information out there is based on dads and their sons and their relationship. So I really wanted a book that's going to include everyone. And I want a parent to be able to walk away after reading this book and looking through the pages and say, this kid or this parent is someone that I can relate to, because gun safety, as you well know, is for everyone.
Yes, of course. And so what what are people going to learn in Toys, Tools, Guns, and Rules?
Well, first of all, the book is written for young children. We're talking starting at 3, because I think it's important to have this conversation at a young age, and it can grow with you all the way up to, a 10-year-old. I mean, even some adults could probably use some firearm safety education knowledge, let's be honest. But basically, it's going to help educate curious minds about how guns work, the dangerous components of firearms, specifically the muzzle and the trigger. We often talk about don't touch guns and stay away from guns, but we don't talk to them about why and what the most dangerous parts of a firearm are. And it's like I tell my children, if they ever see the muzzle of a firearm pointed at them, I don't care if it's friend or foe. That is a very, very bad thing. Right. And they need to get out of that situation. So it's kind of an awareness thing. It's something that I hope parents can have the discussion with their kids, a tool that will help them encourage that conversation. And then I've also created some additional resources on my website, a next steps guide for parents, a general parents guide, and then some coloring pages to help keep the conversation going and that sort of thing. And hopefully, it's been very well received. I'm very excited.
Well, yeah. And for those who need to go take a look at it right now, it's Julie Golob, JuliegOLOB.com, JulieGallup.com. So this comes in, and is it a print book? Is it an e-book? Is it all of those? Both, yes, both options. I think print is really the way to go, because there's a lot of research that shows that children really learn and absorb things by turning pages. But you can also, it's always nice to have something at an airport or someplace else where you're trapped with your kid and you only have your iPhone or your iPad with you. So it's in that option as well. Okay, it's available on Amazon?
Amazon.com, yep.
Okay, so what's it cost?
The print edition is $9.99, and the ebook edition is $7.99.
Okay. And I'm looking at your website. I'm seeing something down here. I meant to ask you about it. Toys, Tools, Guns, and Rules in your gun store. So if a gun store wants to sell this in the store, because we've got a lot of people who listen to this who own or work in gun stores, they can do that?
Absolutely. Amazon has, through CreateSpace, their self-publishing format, has the option to have a reseller wholesale purchase. So you can, buy a box of books and sell them at your store. It was interesting, Tom, when I presented this idea to various different publishers, because my first book, Shoot, is published through Skyhorse Publishing. They told me that this is not a book that anybody would be interested in, much less parents or children. So I find it particularly amusing that it's been doing so well and people are talking about it. And, of course, so many of us know, and lawful gun owners know, the importance about talking about firearm safety and talking about safe storage practices. And I think it's a pretty neat thing to prove them wrong.
These would be the same people who told me that a radio show about guns would never go anywhere, as where they told me that 23 years ago. So,
well, that's a crazy idea right there. I mean, gosh,
that's
who
crazy
would have done
talk.
That?
Exactly. Crazy talk. What's wrong with you? Exactly. So where are you off? I mean, obviously you're off to the SHOT Show next. That's our next thing for all of us, right?
Yes. That's why I like to tell people SHOT Show is our Super Bowl.
It truly is.
It's definitely exciting. It is. Yeah.
So then after that, you're still on the competition circuit.
I am. It's a big year for NRA Action Pistol. There's a World Championship and, of course, the NRA Bianchi Cup. It's a funny year because the shooting sports have jumbled things up. So a lot of practical shooting events are focused in the fall, where NRA Action Pistol is in the spring. And then I'm also running for the National Rifle Association Board of Directors. So I'm staying busy. I'm keeping things busy.
Hey, well, let's put the word out right now. I cannot think of a better candidate than you, and I would encourage all NRA voting members to include you on their list.
Oh, thank you so much. That would be definitely awesome. I'm excited about the opportunity because, let's face it, how many millions of Americans associate their ownership with target shooting? And, of course, we have to think about concealed carry and hunting, but there's a huge, potential recruitment to our cause in this group that just, goes out planking, and we need to reach them and get them connected with the Second Amendment.
Absolutely. Judy Golob, competition shooter, Army veteran, mom, wife, and author. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
All right, take care. All right, open lines for you, 866-TALK-GUN. Be right back. The FBI calls title fraud one of the fastest growing crimes. If you own a home or property, protect it with Home Title Lock, or you could lose it. Title fraud is when an identity thief steals your identity and transfers your home's title into his name. Once he controls title, he can borrow on your home and stick you with the payments. Your bank doesn't protect you, and neither does your homeowner's insurance or any identity theft program. Only Home Title Lock protects you. Home Title Lock forms a virtual perimeter around your home's title. The instant it detects suspicious activity, it's on it, helping to shut it down. Why risk losing everything when, for just pennies a day, Home Title Lock helps protect you? Protect your home and property with Home Title Lock, and be sure you're not already a victim. Sign up today to get your home's title history, a $60 value free. HomeTitleLock.com, and use promo code PROTECT. HomeTitleLock.com, promo code PROTECT. HomeTitleLock.com, promo code PROTECT.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Now you can own a brand new revolver with roots in the 1800s. The astounding North American Arms Ranger 2. A break-action, 5-shot, 22 Magnum mini revolver. Inspired by the Schofield Smith & Wesson of the 1870s, this 7-ounce Magnum revolver is fun to shoot and easy to carry every day. Historic style, high-tech, pocket precision. Check out the new Top Break Ranger 2 at NorthAmericanArms.com. NorthAmericanArms.com.
All righty, back with you. Tom Gresham here, 866-TALK-GUN, or just dial Tom Talk Gun. We were just talking with Julie Golob. By the way, that website again for her is Julie Golob, JuliegOlob, JulieGallup.com. Very cool book, Toys, Tools, Guns, and Rules. For parents, grandparents, give it to parents. I think it's a cool idea. I like the whole thing. Did you see this story coming out of, Pennsylvania? That the Democrat governor, Tom Wolf, declared an emergency, a statewide emergency declaration on the state's opioid epidemic. The only problem is the law there says that when there is a declared state emergency, a disaster declaration, and this is a 90-day disaster declaration, it also kicks in a whole bunch of restrictions on gun ownership, where you can carry, where you can go, what you can buy, some other things. And the governor's saying, well, I didn't intend to do that. I didn't mean to do that. Well, I don't care what you meant. That's what it does. That's what the law is. It's why we have to, in all these states, get rid of these laws that say when there is an emergency or a disaster declaration, you lose your Second Amendment rights. Just wrong on the face of it. You wouldn't lose any other constitutional rights. Just nuts. Let's go to Mike on line 3. He's in Athens, Georgia. Hello, Mike. You're on Gun Talk. What's on your mind?
Yes, I've got an uncle who's 97. He's got a Springfield Armory 1903, and the serial number starts with 7000 something. And some people have told me that it might not be safe to shoot. It's still got Cosmoline on it. From what I understand, it's never been shot. And I was just concerned whether it should be safe to shoot or not.
So it is an 03 Springfield bolt-action rifle.
Right.
Never been fired.
Yes.
The answer to that question is I don't know. Here's what I guess here's the real question is: do you want to shoot it or do you want to just collect it? Because if it's not been fired, I'm not going to shoot it. I'm thinking that's a collector.
Yeah. Well, my uncle, he's like I said, 97, and he's had it all these years, and me and him talk guns all the time, and I think the desire to shoot it by him, as well as me, is growing. But I hear people say, "Man, it's the metallurgy back then at that serial number may not be safe to shoot."
It's probably safe to shoot. Not with hot loads, but probably safe to shoot. I'm going to run back to the question is why would you want to? I mean, if there are other rifles out there you can get without spending a ton of money to shoot. You have a Unicorn. You have an unfired 03 Springfield in the Cosmoline. I would not shoot that gun. I just wouldn't. I would go find you another 03 that's a beater that you can shoot or have some fun with. Because once you shoot it, it's done. It's an on-off switch. It's unfired until the first trigger pull, then done. Now, if you just are committed to doing it, I would find a good gunsmith, an old gunsmith. Find you a gunsmith with gray in his hair, and have them check it over, have him probably clean it and check it, check the headspace and everything else. But I'm going to keep circling back to I wouldn't do it. But I think you've got something that's pretty special there. I'm not saying it's valuable, but you got something that's special, and I probably wouldn't do it. But it's your call. If you're going to shoot it, have somebody who knows what he's doing check it out for you, okay?
Okay.
All right, I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate the call. Let's see. Line 1, Rick's with us out of Arkansas. Hey, Rick, what did you get?
I inherited a revolver from my father. It is a Colt DA-41. Serial number is like 1830-something.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to some different people. Some people are saying it to be a black powder. I talked to another gentleman who said it's possibly a U.S. Army issue, somewhere between late 1800s and early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
Is it safe to shoot? Where would I get? Is it a 40? I'm assuming a 41 caliber would be a DA-41.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a historical firearms guy. There are tons of websites you can go to. There are collectors groups. There's the Colt Collectors Association. You can go online and run all that down and take pictures of it and get the serial number. And these people will know everything about it. They'll know the day it was manufactured. I'm literally the day it was manufactured. And they will say, yes, you can shoot it, and this is what you ought to shoot in it, or no, I wouldn't, or whatever. But without more information, and frankly, without more information from my part, which is I'm just not a collector of old guns. I don't do seriously old guns, so I'm probably the wrong guy to ask on that.
Okay, well, I trying to find out if it's safe to shoot, if it's safe to shoot, or too far, if it is.
Yeah, again, I can't tell you because I can't see the gun, and if you want to shoot it, I'd get it to a gunsmith, but I'd also do the research. You have to do the legwork on it to find out what it is, when it was made. I mean, is it black powder? Is it smokeless powder? What cartridge does it shoot? I don't know the answers to those. Somebody may be able to help us, but I don't know. By the way, we had a call a little earlier. You know, we had a caller who said he had this 22, the barrel was marked short, long rifle, but all he could shoot in it was shorts. Such an obvious thing. We had a caller who didn't want to be on the air, but he said, look, he says, there's a possibility that all that's happened here, the chamber is just dirty. It's skunked up. And that happens particularly with 22s. If somebody has been shooting, the long rifle is a longer chamber. But if somebody shoots shorts in that, and you go shoot thousands and thousands of shorts in there, then the powder is going forward and gumming up the chamber, not the barrel, but the chamber. So now when you try to put a long rifle in it, which has a longer case, it won't go in and could make you think that this has a chamber for a 22 short because that's all that will fit in it. Well, a regular chamber, or rather a regular bore brush may not clean that out. You want something that's a little bit bigger, or here's a cheat. Take your 22 caliber brass brush, your bore brush, and put just a little bit of steel wool on that and get it into the chamber and spin it around and clean that out and use some good solvent if you should have something like that, because it may be a way to get that cleaned up so that you can shoot it. It's those are the little tricks you kind of pick up when you're hanging around some of these older guys or shooting older guns. And as I say, I'm not, that's just not my area. I've never been a collector. People say, well, you have a lot of guns. I do have a lot of guns. I just don't have a lot of old guns. And there are people who collect military guns, and that's a whole specialty in and of itself. Not my world either. I have people I can call for that. It's funny because they'll say, well, this is the XYZ Sten, whatever. I'm just going, what? I don't know what that is. I just don't know all of those things. So just a thought. Let's see. Fred called in from Anchorage. He says, the 03 Springfield, not safe to shoot. is a double heat treat. So he is offering Don't Shoot That 03 Springfield, Mike, in Athens, Georgia. So there's a vote for not shooting it. I go back to, if I had an unfired Springfield 03, I would not shoot it. If it's in the Cosmoline, I'd be keeping it. I don't know. What do you think? If somebody presented you with that rifle, or any of these, say it's a 110, 120-year-old rifle, and it's unfired and packed in the original Cosmoline, would you clean it up and shoot it? I don't know. I get that some people say, I don't care about the collector value. I just want to go shoot it. No, I guess that's fine. It kind of makes me go back to the whole 4570 thing. I don't know why. Talking about Springfield made me think about trapdoor Springfields. Makes me think about 4570s. I have an older Marlin lever action in 4570. Which reminds me, I really seriously need to put a recoil pad on that thing. Good Lord, that thing hurts when it goes off. It's got a plastic butt plate on it. And that 4570 will kick pretty well. It comes back at you. But one of the things I did is I put an old Weaver, an aperture sight, a peep sight on it. And then where the peep is, you got the screw-in part of it. I unscrewed that whole thing and just threw it away. Threw the screw-in aperture away. So now all you've got left is this kind of bigger hole where the aperture is supposed to screw in. And I didn't realize that 40 years ago I was making a ghost ring sight. And it works like a champ. I can shoot 3-inch groups at 100 yards with that, which is just great. So it's a decent 150-yard gun with iron sights. And I just think that would be a humdinger for hogs. So I don't know. Is there a particular old caliber you like, 4570? Of course, now, think about it. The 30-06 is an old caliber, isn't it? What is your favorite old caliber? 866 Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, you want to find out what's going on at your house when you're not there? I've been using this blank camera for a while. It's pretty cool. The guys there sent me a couple of them. I told them I'll try them out before I'll talk about them on the radio. And so that's fair. I tried them. I liked them. They're a little bit, I don't know. I'm looking at one right now. Call it 4 by 4 inches and maybe 3/4 of an inch. I mean, there's not any size at all. Battery powered and work off the internet. Real easy to set up. Simple. I always say 5 minutes to set them up, and I think that's about right. But it's the blink cameras. You can check your house. You can check your perimeter from anywhere on your phone. It gives you alerts when there's movement. It has motion detection. It'll tell you the temperature. Pretty neat. You can see what's going on your front porch if your packages are there. You can also just do wildlife viewing with them if you want to. Pretty slick operation all the way around. I think they're pretty nice. They say that you can get three blink cameras for what the other guys charge for one. And you also get an extra 10% off with the Gun Talk code. All you have to do is go to blinkprotect.com/guntalk. That's blinkprotect.com/guntalk. Don't forget, when you get to the checkout, type Gun Talk, all one word, upper or lowercase, doesn't matter, into the discount field, and you're going to get a 10% off. blinkprotect.com/guntalk. Let's see, Richard's on line 4 out of Casper, Wyoming. That smoothbore Ruger this guy called in about. What do you think, Richard?
I graduated high school in '67, and I bought a brand new stainless Ruger single 6 22 mag, and I was out rabbit hunting, and I run into a guy who had a blued single 6, and it was a smooth bore, and the ammo he had for it was like a 1/4 inch long nickel plated rimfire case with a round lead BB in them, and that thing had CB only stamped on the barrel.
Huh. I have never heard of that one before.
That's pretty wild.
It is. When
I heard that, that's the first thing I thought of, because you never see them old CBs used to have a round lead BB in them instead of a bullet.
Well, there's they call it the CB cap. They used them at galleries, shooting galleries and like county fairs. Way back. So that's interesting. That would be worth, that would be one for the Ruger Collectors Association to say, hey,
definitely.
I got this thing, and there may be guys that say, oh my heavenly days, those are rare. You want to hold on to that. So that's worth chasing down too.
Maybe if he could find some of that old ammo, he could pop one of them round balls out of it and mic it and see.
That's an interesting idea. But yeah, I think maybe running that over to the Ruger Collectors Association, again, that becomes every type of gun like that. There's a Winchester collectors, a Martin collectors, a Colt collectors, Ruger collectors. That becomes the memory bank for all these kinds of things, because there are tons of people involved in those who simply know quite literally everything that happened almost at these companies, and they track it all the way back as far as they can. So that's probably a good place to go. I had not heard that story before, but that is very interesting. Thank you for that call, sir. Let's see here. Line 1, Benny is in Corpus Christi, Texas. Hey, Benny.
Hey, Tom. Great afternoon to you, sir.
Thank you. So you got a favorite old cartridge here?
Yeah, my Brett Enfield 303.
Really?
It hadn't got quite the finesse, ballistically speaking, of the 308, but that thing will certainly put down a whitetail or a hog.
Well, sure. I mean, it certainly would. Tell me about your rifle. Where did you get it? When did you get it?
I got that thing about 20 years ago, maybe longer. My wife and I, about 22 years ago, my wife and I were at a gun show, and I had taken a couple old single-shot shotguns to pedal off, and with the proceeds, we picked up the Brett Enfield, and I brought it home and sporterized the stock real nice, do some pretty fair woodwork, and oh my goodness gracious, go hunting with the deacons from the church, and that thing, it kicks. Oh, it kicks. It really kicks.
Let me ask you, how is it to get ammo for it? Can you find ammo?
It is so incredibly easy. Who was that? Privy Partisan makes good ammo for it. But it's golly, a lot of companies are making it.
Okay.
I think Federal's making it. Somebody else, maybe Winchester, but I know Federal makes it. I've got some that seem to have like a steel coating and a very sharp point. But most of the ones I go hunting with are jacketed soft tip.
Right. Okay. Well, interesting. 303 British. I wouldn't have thought that, but that's a great old cartridge for sure. I appreciate that range report, sir. Before we get to our break, let's grab Bob in San Antonio on 2. He's got a range report for us. What you got there, Bob?
Well, I over the last 6 months, I built a 9mm pistol AR.
Oh.
I went with a 4.5-inch Faxon barrel. I used a dedicated CMMG lower, Arrow Precision upper.
Okay.
CMMG bolt for Colt magazines, for the stick mags.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a joy to shoot. Runs like a sewing machine.
Really?
I've got it's a 16-ounce bolt and an 8-ounce buffer, so you'd think, wow, it's real heavy, and you do feel it chugging back and forth. I used a Wolf extra power spring in there. It just runs like a sewing machine. I was running hollow points, ball, 147, 115. I didn't get to test everything I wanted. I only shot a couple of hundred rounds, but it ran like a charm.
Now, have you shot it with a can on it?
No, sir, I haven't. But if the Hearing Protection Act passes, or if I get the cash aside, that's something I really was thinking of. That's one of the reasons I went with a real short barrel, because then it won't be so long with a can.
Well, let me just offer a word of advice. Don't wait for the Hearing Protection Act. It may pass, it may not. If it does, it could be 5 years. You don't want to wait 5 years. And right now, this thing's going through like in 4 or 5 months if you do the electronic check on it. So if you want it, I would say just get it, man.
Okay, well, it might be a cash thing too, because I was hoping the HPA would drive down the price, but yeah, you've got a point. I probably should go ahead and save my pennies and buy one. But it's just a heck of a lot of fun, and you've mentioned them a few times on the show, and that was one of the things that helped push me, to pull the trigger on it,
so to speak. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Great range report. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Looking for your range reports. I'm Tom Gresham. We'll be right back.
It's really pretty simple. Your carry gun is a life-saving device. It must be with you. That's what the Springfield Armory XDS is all about. Small enough to carry, big enough to shoot comfortably, shockingly slim, single stack, with a 3.3-inch or 4-inch barrel, available in 9, 40, or 45. Highly accurate, great trigger, fiber optic front sight for fast aimed fire. The XDS at springfield-armory.com. That's springfield-armory.com.
If you're like me, you don't have money to burn, but you still want to buy guns, ammo, and accessories. That's why we created Gun Dealio. That's a free smartphone app. Just download it and start getting the deals. Could be discounts, offers of free magazines for your gun, or you could be the first to hear about new stuff from gun makers. Here's how it works. With Gun Dealio on your phone, you get alerts when you enter a gun store. Special deals, You don't have to do a thing. It'll do a lot of other cool things, like let you watch gun videos and listen to Gun Talk podcast. Plus, check it anytime for hundreds of deals and offers. Getting more while spending less. Smart, huh? Gun Dealio. Made in America. Gluten-free. At the App Store and Google Play or gundealio.com.
Since 1937, Ducks Unlimited has led the charge on wetlands and waterfowl conservation. Wetlands reduce the effects of flooding and recharge our drinking water, but perhaps most importantly, they allow us to experience what makes the outdoors so great. Band together to rescue our wetlands.
If you love to shoot sporting clays, Mossberg has just the gun for you. The new Pro Series Sporting is a full-featured target gun that fits well and points naturally right out of the box. Designed in conjunction with Gil and Vicky Ash of OSP Shooting Schools, the Mossberg 930 was developed to work with you to make clay shooting easier, more consistent, and more enjoyable. This fall, head out to the range and break more clays with the new Mossberg 930 Sporting. Learn more at mossberg.com.
Back with you, Tom Gresham, 866-TALK-GUN. One of the things that I think 2018, one of our big stories is going to be this whole guns or marijuana deal. As people get medical marijuana cards, or they buy marijuana, or they use marijuana in states where it's legal, they're going to run smack dab against the fact that it is illegal on a federal basis. And the ATF, the Justice Department, says that you are prohibited from owning a gun if you use marijuana. They classify marijuana as the same as heroin. It's a real problem because they're just, no matter how you feel about marijuana, put that aside for a minute. And I understand people say, well, it's the law, it's the law, it's the law. Yeah, I get that. But that's like saying, well, hey, it's the law that you have to have this piece of paper, and if you don't have it, and if you drive into New Jersey, you should go to jail for 10 years because you had your gun with you. Even if you didn't know, even if you're a single mother of two. Really? Really? So they're already starting confiscation in states where they can cross-reference those who have medical marijuana cards and those who have licensed or registered guns. They're going up and picking up their guns. Hey, we're here to confiscate your guns because we know that you have the medical marijuana card, and we know that you have guns, and you cannot do both. So you are a prohibited person. You cannot own a gun. But the feds are doing that. Yeah, good point. So now what? I don't know. We don't know how this is going to get worked out. I'm wondering, God, this could be delicious. Play with me for a minute. What if Donald Trump just issued an executive order that said that he's taking marijuana off the table as far as something that prohibits firearms ownership? So what you'd have is the left, who loves the whole legalizing marijuana thing, but they hate guns. So he'd be removing restrictions on marijuana, legal marijuana users, but the restrictions would be to say that they could own guns. They might wrap themselves so tightly in a knot they couldn't breathe. It would be actually hilarious to watch. Oh my gosh, I'm kind of loving the whole idea about that. By the way, though, I mentioned last week that we were going to show a new gun. We did a live video on it last Monday. It's the new Sig P3 It is a stunning little pistol. Imagine something the same size as a Glock 43, teeny tiny, a little bit smaller than a Shield or the the Springfield XDS. Yeah, a little smaller than that. But instead of being a single stack 9, it is a stack and a half. That's what I call it. It's a 10+1 in a little bitty package. So 11 rounds in a little bitty package, 9mm. It does have the option of you can buy a 12-round mag, which makes it only slightly larger. It has a great trigger. We just did some shooting with it at the range. It's called the Sig P3, as in you can carry this 365 days a year. Very nice pistol. One of a gazillion new guns being introduced right now. It's a pretty cool time. Speaking of SIGs, Rod's with us on 4 out of Idaho. Hey, Rod, what's on your mind?
Well, I've got a couple of little problems. So first of all, I called you about a month and a half ago or so about the Sig P938 dropping rounds when I dropped the magazine, take the magazine out.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just wondering if you got any more feedback from Sig, or
I have to say, I think I dropped the ball on that one. I have not talked to them about it, but I will be. In fact, I will be doing the show next Sunday from the Sig event at the SHOT Show, so we can ask them there. Okay.
Oh, that'd be great. That'd be great.
All right.
And then the next question is how to carry temporarily with my left hand, because I'm having hand surgery on my right hand for carpal tunnel. So I won't be able to shoot with my right hand. So I'm going to have to practice a little bit shooting left-handed. And then I'm trying to figure out how I can carry my 1911 so I can get to it without having to buy a new holster temporarily.
You probably have to get a new holster. Where do you carry? It's like inside the waistband, or how do you carry?
Yeah, inside the waistband, just behind my right hip. Somebody was telling me that I could slide that holster over and put it in the middle of my back, and I should be able to grab it with my left hand that way.
Let me see. Yeah, you could do that. Two things. One, I'm not crazy. That's called a small of the back, or SOB type of carry. I'm not a real fan of that. It's not comfortable when you're sitting with your back against a chair, but also if you fall down on your back, it could really damage your spine. The other thing is, how practiced are you at operating a safety on a 1911 with your left hand?
Well, the gun that I'm carrying is going to be an that R1. It's got the ambidextrous.
Okay,
ambidextrous safeties.
I'm gonna make a suggestion. Go ahead and spend a little money and figure out a way to carry maybe cross draw, maybe inside the waistband on the left side. Or you know what? Check the gun store. They're liable to have a left-handed holster for a 1911 that somebody got rid of at some point. And then empty that gun out and practice. Drawing, working the safety, putting it back in. Drawing, working the safety, putting it back in. Do that a couple hundred times before you start to feel comfortable with it. But I applaud you on thinking this ahead of time and trying to work that problem. It's a good move. 866 Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk. What's on your mind, gun-wise? And I guess this is where we are. Oh, by the way, I just got an email. Somebody said, hey, you're always talking about updating your gun dealio. What version is it? How do we know? No, here's the deal. We updated it, a couple of months ago. If you are currently getting notifications on your gun dealio, then don't worry about it. You're updated. It's working great. If you have not gotten a notification on your Gun Dealio app in the last month or so, then something's wrong. So either you need to update it, or you have not allowed or enabled the notifications, which is what the whole thing is about, so you can get notified of these deals of, you know, special prices, special promotions of, hey, buy this gun and get 3 free mags, that kind of a thing. So either you need to update, if you're not getting the alerts, you need to either update the app or you need to allow notifications and geolocation. If you are getting alerts, don't worry about it. You're good to go, okay? All right, right out of Texas. This is, I guess, a sign of the times where we are. Diana Durkin was on her way back from Houston visiting her best friend when she spotted someone wearing a Texas Tech hoodie while in line for security. Now, Diana, she's a sophomore at Texas Tech. So being a Red Raider, they have this thing they do. They do the guns up sign as a way to say hello for the Red Raiders. So she does the guns up sign, which is, you know, pointing the finger out and your thumb is up, you know, as a way to say howdy to the other Red Raider. TSA did not like that. So they tapped her on the shoulder, pulled her aside, wanted to find out what's going on here. She said she showed them her Texas Tech ID, and she's trying to explain the whole thing. And so they searched her belongings, patted her down as precaution. They let her go with a warning. And she said, well, I kind of thought it was funny at the time, but I guess I get it. I don't know. It kind of makes me sad. It's just where we are. More security theater. I'm sorry, just a lot of it. Yeah, I get it. Some of it's real, but there's an awful lot of security theater out there, okay? It just is. I had a question earlier of concealed carry. If the Reciprocity Act, or we get reciprocity throughout, will there be a standard for training? The answer is no. It will simply mean that if you can carry in your state, you can carry in all states. And if your state requires training, then that's what it requires to get your permit. If your state does not require training, then you don't have to have training, but your permit's still good. And as I understand it, I think if you're from a state that is constitutional carry, then you're good without a permit across the country. And I think that last one is the one that's driving all of the gun grabbers crazy. They're making them nuts. How could you possibly let people who are not a problem come be not a problem in our state? Well, they don't exactly say it that way. Because they think anybody with a gun is dangerous, is a threat, is out to kill everybody, even though we don't. As someone said, hey, there are 100 million gun owners in America. If we were a problem, you would know about it. It really is quite as simple as that. Okay, so reviewing today, we had some really cool stuff. We had the announcement of Ruger's new shooting team, a pro shooting team, which will be captained by Doug Koenig. Huge deal. Mark Gurney from Ruger was telling us about some of the new products. We've got the Ruger Precision Rifle in .22 rimfire. We've got a new 9mm that's going to be selling for something just a bunch, a little bit over $200. Very cool stuff. A number of new Ruger American rifles with detachable box magazines. You can use AR magazines. You could use AI magazines in the larger centerfire. That's good news. And then, of course, we had Julie Golob from Team Smith & Wesson. She's a competitive shooter with her new book for kids, which is Toys, Tools, Guns, and Rules. You can get that off of Amazon. If you have kids, if you have grandkids, I would encourage you to take a look at that. Knowing Julie, it's going to be a really good product. If you would like to join us for the after show, right now, give us a call. We can get you in, and you will never have any more fun than that because we just have a blast. Give me a call right now at Tom Talk Gun, and we'll get you lined up, and you could be on the after show. If you've not heard the after show, shame, 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 you can hear it with your Gun Dealio app, or you go online and listen to it, as a zillion people do. Go out and do some shooting, be safe, and do something for the Second Amendment.